Is anybody else getting absolutely destroyed by the job market right now? Most recently, I worked a 1 year contract. I work in social media, and so I kind of bounce around short term contract, short term contract. This most recent one was a 1 year contract, which was great. But when that contract ended, I knew I was going to have to look for new opportunities. So before the contract ended, I started a job search looking for full time opportunities, part time contract, anything under the sun. Since the contract ended in October, I have put out 700 plus applications. And out of all those 700 plus applications, I've only gotten a handful of interviews. And one of those interview processes went all the way to the final round. And then, I was told by the recruiter that they were actually no longer pursuing anyone for that role. They were just going to cancel that role and kind of absorb the work themselves. And then 3 days after they told me that, they reposted the listing. So I would have rather just heard, hey, you're not the right fit. But am I the only one that can't get any job? I've even applied to stock shelves at Costco to no response. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've got a good resume. I've got a ton of experience. I don't know what to do. My full-time job right now is literally just applying to jobs. That's what I do day in and day out for the majority of the day.
Shalom. First, I start off by giving all great honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Rakakadash. The blonde said, teaches zealous and apostle of great millstone, likewise brothers put on the truth, faithfully fair to see, feeding the sheep, and to brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled, The Proud Are Being Brought Down Low. Now, you saw the opening clip there, and, that Brad Pitt looking Edomite there, having a hard time finding work, and I'm going to play a couple clips throughout this lesson, showing these, Edomites, crying and sighing, and, they're getting a taste of their own medicine. In fact, let's go to the book of Proverbs 21, starting with verse 12. It reads, the righteous man wisely considered the house of the wicked, but power overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. Whoso stoppeth his ear at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but should not be heard. Now, these seem type of people. Now, some of them appear to be a little kind of young, but these seem Edomites that are crying and, being laid off. And you'll hear in certain videos in this lesson, where a lot of them have already burned through all of their savings and their 401k, and they're only in their early 50s. Okay, a rude awakening is here in Great Babylon, America. Now, see, typically, when you look at this here, and I put this animation here, okay, up until, a few years ago, this was what it looked like. You'd have a Jake that goes in, well qualified, graduate from an Ivy League school, whatever, great college, and is constantly rejected. Okay, and I'm using the Negro man here. Okay, on the other side, flip side, you have a low educated so-called white boy go inside an interview, and congratulations, you get a job offer right there and then, and they come up with all of these scenarios of, organizational fit and all this other stuff. Like, see, we already called you out. Okay, bottom line is you always say to us, okay, the system has now been fair towards the children of Israel, and particularly the so-called Negroes.
The insanely fast auto rejection emails that come from AI bots after a company's website is using AI to sort through your resume and pick out what they do and don't want, and they don't find the exact filtered keywords that they want. So after you spent 45 minutes filling out their application, because of course it's it feels like you're auditioning for the circus. Like, they literally want you to basically dance for them and perform a routine. It's actually insane. So after you do all that, you get an email 30 seconds later that's like, oh, we're so sorry, but you unfortunately haven't been selected. It's like, okay, when does it end? I personally use Sprout to bypass this problem, because you can swipe to apply and it mass applies to a ton of stuff for you, and it will tailor your information to surpass it basically. But it is just the fact that it's gotten to this point is so unfair. I just don't understand how any of us, who are looking for a job, we're expected to, keep morale up and stay positive and keep applying. It's what is the fucking point?
Okay, and you've demonstrated, okay, that you can't take what you dish out. In fact, let's go into Jeremiah 49 and 12, because this is just kind of, let's say, the orders, okay, to the main course that the Lord Yahweh Shai has for you Edomites. It reads, "For thus said the Lord Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it." What do we drink of? Oppression, slavery, you name it. Okay? That's what we drank of. So you're going to drink through it too. Okay? And it's going to come in stages. Okay? It's going to come in stages. Right now, okay, you proud Edomites, okay, and you're the low level ones that we, refer to as the peasants, okay, not the elites that, we speak to when we go out in the highway and the byway. But you are the peasants, the gatekeepers, okay? You're the ones that hung Jake from the trees, snap photos of it. You're the ones that walk past Jake on the sidewalk, struggling for his life, and you wouldn't help him. Okay, you're the ones that put the drugs into Jake's community. Okay, you're the one that laugh, sit down, call us niggers and spics and tontos behind our backs, even though you'll smile in our face. You like seeing us down, but here you are now getting your own medicine. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. Okay, it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh Shai will put these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee," which is you Edomites, you so-called white people, you hate us, "which persecuted thee." Okay, you have persecuted us. I strongly suggest to all you crackers out there to go and read the book of Deuteronomy 28 and start from verse 15 all the way to 68. And that should give you an idea of what we have gone through or what we are currently going through, which is coming to the end of our captivity here. Okay, and you can expect to see that happening to you. Okay, first, you have nothing to look forward to. You're stressed on a daily basis. Okay, and things are never going to get better for you. Why? Because the curses are on you, and we was never able to escape out of the curses, and neither will you. Okay.
So now imagine somebody who's 24 months unemployed, rejection after rejection. I can only imagine the negative toll, both physically and mentally, on them. I will go on LinkedIn and I will see people posting, literally begging for jobs. People in their 50s and 60s who burn through all of their savings and they're begging for a position. And I don't think it's going to get any better. The economic data seems to show that unemployment's only going to go up because of AI layoffs. So it's something we all need to be cognizant of because it's going to affect somebody in our lives and we need to recognize it.
And I'm not even going to go into basically what happens to you after Yahushua returns here, okay, and take down the elites, okay, and set up the heavenly kingdom, and all of you are going to go into slavery, okay? Generation after generation, iteration after iteration. Let's go to Proverbs 26, and so verse 27 reads, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone ever return upon him. A lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin." See that? A lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it. Okay? See, as I showed in that animation clip right there, okay, so basically it doesn't matter who we stand before. The lying tongue of the so-called white man against the children of Israel, particularly the so-called Negro, has been at the point where we basically looked at as less than animals, okay? And here you are. Here you all are now crying. And crying pitifully, putting up your videos. What do you expect to get out of it, okay? What do you expect to get out of it? So now a potential employer, which there isn't any, is going to see your video up there and realize that you really are truly pathetic.
It's really fucking bleak, you guys. I got laid off from Teen Vogue in technically December. The news came down in November. I have been furiously job searching since then, interviewing, reaching out to every person that I know who works in the media industry. I have met so many people at this point. I got another rejection today. I'll just be upfront about it. I got rejected by Elle. I got rejected by InStyle. I got rejected by Vogue, even though I worked under the same umbrella. I'm getting rejected by beauty brands that I apply to. I have writing, editing, social media management, knowing how to make content just based on me doing this. I have all of this experience. I have communication experience. I'm good with fucking people. I know how to interview. I know how to do customer service, which is something that a lot of people don't know how to fucking do. And it feels impossible to get a job. I am fighting for my goddamn life. It is a struggle every single day. I work at a gym and I also just started managing a tattoo shop because I need to make a living. I don't have generational wealth. I don't have unemployment. I am down so horrifically bad financially. I just have to get by. And I've reworked my resume, I've reworked my cover letter. It doesn't seem to matter. Nothing seems to matter. It's really insane, and it makes you question everything.
Okay, and don't blame AI. AI is not the reason why you all are not experiencing any type of success. It's because the curses are on you, starting with you doggone peasants, Edomite, who are so proud, who think that you're above the children of Israel and you are not. Let's go into Isaiah 19, verse 14 reads, "The Lord Yahweh Shemashai had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt, which is placed on spiritual Sodom and Egypt, to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggering his vomit." So incoherent movement. This man is focusing on wars. Okay, he's destroying the economies of the earth. Okay, and basically he's simply not focused on you people. Okay, one minute he's grabbing the so-called migrants, or he's grabbing jakes off the street. The next minute he's starting a war. The next minute, he's on an island feeding up little baby animals and stuff like that. I mean, you people are retarded, man. You're not suited for rulership. It says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day Egypt should be like unto women, and they should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemashai, which he shaken over it." What is he shaking over it? Judgment, 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 judgment. The elite rich and their little puppies, the rich jakes that is along with them, that helps them work the wickedness on this earth. They don't fear anything, okay, but they will. But for now, okay, people like yourselves that are in these videos, screaming and crying and wonder why. And when you take a look at this, I mean, in that opening clip there, the dude looks like doggone Brad Pitt. He's the American white boy, man. He's the American white boy, and he is being rejected. How much more so doggone so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos out there right now when hard times come? If you're not covered by Yahweh Shemashai, you're going to suffer. Let's go to Isaiah 24. Verse 11 reads, "There is a cry for wine in the street, all joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. In the city is left desolation, the gate is smitten with destruction." And we know the word desolation, okay, meaning really is a state of complete emptiness, so destruction, anguish, misery, or loneliness. Okay, and we haven't even gotten into 2nd Ezra 15 today, or 2nd Ezra 16, which or we can go into 2nd Ezra 6. Okay, which talk about y'all gonna turn on each other, and there's gonna be people isolating themselves from others, and you wait till we get to that part of it, okay? And we'll work that in another lesson. But this is what you're experiencing right now, okay? Let's close it with Job 40. And verse 11 reads, "Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold everyone that is proud, and abase him. Look on everyone that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place." And that's exactly the prayer that we sent up to the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai. Okay? So there's no compassion to me for any of you Edomites out there that are having a hard time struggling. You're getting exactly what you created. This is the environment that you clap your hands, rolled it in. You were very happy about it when it was only impacting, okay, people of color, so to speak, us so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, in particular so-called blacks, and especially the men, okay, and it was okay. But now you're getting it. And Lord willing, he gives you it harder. I would like to do more videos on your misery. Lord willing, like was that the Father that goes away, giving all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.